So he had his people in his bodyguards because he always hung out with 2 or 3 guys and another car behind him. So he's telling me, "You're going to the Crocodiles."
Okay. Well. Speaking of crazy, what's this Crocodiles thing? You said you got threatened to be fed to crocodiles.
We were working Cancun, and when we were working Cancun, we would work with what we called El Yankee. El Yankee was the head of the Federale police force for Cancun. And the Mexican guy I worked with, El Compadre, El Ocho, he was my contact. He worked with El Yankee of Cancun, so we had permission to work in Cancun. And that was fine. We did a bunch of trips in Cancun, to Cozumel, airdrops, a lot of airdrops. And then we did some boat trips. Afterwards, Metro came in and took over La Plaza. Metro worked for Amado Carrillo. And Metro saved Amado Carrillo's life when they did an attempt on his life at the restaurant in Mexico City, that Valley High restaurant, whatever. Helped Amado escape through a bathroom window or something.
We'll come back to Amado. I don't want to get you on a tangent explaining that, but we'll explain that later.
So Metro, so my compadre, my Mexican contact tells me, we're not working in Cancun anymore. Metro's in control. That's only going to lead to problems. Sure enough, a Cuban friend of mine came to Cancun, was working with a guy from Guadalajara, and I told him, I suggest you do not work here and continue working here. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, they found his head somewhere in Punta Sam and his legs down in Chetumal. They tortured the shit out of him and killed him. So that was even more reason to not to work in Cancun. So I'm in Mexico City. I'm not working in Cancun. I'm in Mexico City, and I get a call from one of the guys that worked with the Beltran Leiva brothers. And he says, I got permission to work in Cancun. Can we bring in a load through Belize? Then you can deliver it in Chetumal. He says, if you got permission to work in Cancun, I'll do it. So I bring the load up to Belize. The load is sitting in Belize. And I go to Cancun because I said, I'm going to go talk to Metro to make sure that this motherfucker has permission. So I go to Cancun and I can't find Metro. So I reach out to this lady that knows Metro, and I know Metro. I can't find her either. So then I go to one of their hotels that they own, and I'm sitting there at the bar, and in comes Gil. Gil is Metro's #1 transporter. He's the one that takes the merchandise from Cancun, takes it up to Houston. He was wanted for murder for killing some family on the border or something.
Nice guy.
That. Yeah, some regular shit like that. So I start drinking and playing pool with Gil. We both get f***ed up. And then I tell Gil, by the way, I got 600 kilos. They're from Metro. They're in Belize. And, I just want to let you know that they're there. And, let's talk about this tomorrow. I said, fine. All right. So we're playing pool. The last pool game, we'll say, oh, hey, let's play for $250,000. I go, okay, let's do it. I was almost winning. Thank God I didn't win. I lost. So at the end of the night, I owed Gil $250,000 from that pool game. He goes home. I go to my hotel. My wife again is 7 months pregnant with Simon. So next morning I wake up and I go play tennis. And then since I had a Café Coba, I said after my tennis game, I'll go to my office to Café Coba. But I needed to call Gil. I needed to make some phone calls and try to find Metro. So I go to the payphone across the street. And while I'm at the payphone across the street, I feel a hit right here around my kidney. Bah! The butt of a AK-47. Bah! And somebody grabs me by the hair and yanks my hair out. Tries to put me in a Chevy. Luckily, it wasn't a Suburban. Luckily, it was a 2-door Chevy Yukon. Not a 4-door Suburban.
Why is that?
Because they had to put the seat up like this, and they had to sneak through that 2-seater. It was not a 4-door. It was so it was hard. If it was a 4-door, they just opened the back door and throw me in. So when they were trying to put me in, I would back roll and flip and kick like a goat, like a monkey. Finally, I said, okay, let's stop. Let's stop. Metro, listen, I've been looking for you. Hijo de puta, Colocho, estás aquí trabajando. You're working under the radar. You thought you could get away with it, but I caught your fucking ass, and I'm going to kill you. And I go, what the f? And I go, okay, calmémonos. Mira, I was, they had pulled hair. I was jumping. It took about 10 minutes of this bullshit next to the payphone. And I said, okay, let me ride in the car with you. And eso sí, let me ride in the front seat because I'm heated up from all this exhaustion. So next thing, okay, so you want to drive in the car, you want to sit in the front seat, you want the AC. Next thing you know, you want to drive. No, I don't want to drive. I want to talk to you. Okay, let's go. So he had his people in his bodyguards because he always hung out with 2 or 3 guys and another car behind him. So he's telling me, you're going to the Crocodiles.
To the Crocodiles.
Te tiro pa los cocodrilos. Yeah, there was a place it was an old amusement park that went bankrupt. And they had some pink pyramids, blue, these Mexican colors. And it was like brackish water next to the lagoon.
And they kept the Crocs.
Yeah, they kept the Crocs there. And it was known that people got thrown in the Crocodiles. Because Cancun at night, in the daytime, it's tourist haven. At night, it was the number 1 arriving port for coke in Mexico. For a while, that was the number 1 point.
Even as they were building up the resort.
During the daytime, it was resort town, vacation. At night, it was coke. Lanchas coming in from Colombia. So we're driving towards this abandoned theme park, water park. And all of this time, I'm trying to get Gil on the phone. I'm telling him, I'm telling you, I was playing pool with Gil, and I was trying to contact you. Okay, that's a bunch of bullshit. Last thing I'm going to see are those shiny, bright white tennis shoes you got on. That's the only thing that's going to be left of you. I'm taking you to, and we were on the way there. And I was trying to get Gil on the phone, and, that's the only thing that was on my mind is, my adrenaline. I got to get this guy on the phone. Suddenly I said, let me use your phone. I'll call him from your phone. No, as a matter of fact, I'll do you that courtesy because we're 5 minutes away. In 5 minutes, I'm going to do you this last courtesy. I'm going to call him from my phone. Metro calls him from his phone, and he picks up. And Metro goes, aquí tengo al hijo de puta que lo único que va a quedar son los tenecitos blancos esos, las zapatillas, los tenis. The only thing that's going to be left are those white little sneakers that he's got on. I'm going to throw him in the Crocodiles. And he goes, what? No, because he was still hungover. He goes, no.
He owes me $250.
No hagas eso. Ese cabrón me debe $250,000 de un juego de billar. And then he looks at me and says, this cannot be true. And before that, he tells me, do you know how many stories I've heard? You know how many people have been sitting there? Well, actually, no. You're the only son of a bitch that sits in the front seat when we're going to send him, when we're going to kill him. Most people are tied, hog-tied, and duct taped in the back. But for some reason, you're sitting here next to, you know how many stories I've heard? That's just one more bullshit story. Playing pool, $250,000. Okay, Gil. When he heard, he'd tell him, no, he owes me $250 from a pool game. He looked at me and he kind of said, brother, you are crazier than we are. I always heard you were nuts because he knew that I worked with Rasguño. Yeah. I says, I always knew you were nuts. I heard about, but now I am 100% sure you are f***ing out of your f***ing mind. And at that point, we kind of bonded. It's the kind of people, these crazies, they look at you in the eye, and then suddenly I was like one of them. The same way you're sitting in a restaurant, he walks in and you look at him the wrong way, he'll put a bullet in your head. And he doesn't give a flying.
Apparently
at that point, he took me to the hotel like nothing had ever happened. We were best of buddies.
But you got the situation figured out where you were bringing the in the Metro?
No, Metro was his nickname.
No. I'm sorry, into his territory? Like you?
Because he confirmed. No, I played pool with him last night. As a matter of fact, he owes me $250,000, and he does have 600 kilos in Belize,
right.
Of which 50 are mine.
Right.
Because 50 kilos in Cancun at that time at 5,000 was $250,000, and I told him I'll give you 50 kilos of the. So don't kill that motherfucker.
Guys, just to give you some context, we have an entire part 1 sit down with Luis that was released before this episode. You can see the thumbnail for that right here, and the link is in the description below for you to check out after you finish this one. And also, if you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and please go follow me on Instagram at Julian Dorey Podcast or on my personal page at Julian D. Dorey. And at Julian D. Dorey is also my X handle as well, so make sure you got me over there. The links are in the description. Also, as a note to our YouTube reviewers, as I mentioned on the disclaimer at the front to check out this timestamp, all of the stories in here discussed are in an educational context of a historical period in time. There are no violent images or any acts of violence depicted at any point. This is strictly an oral history. It is well within the guidelines of monetization. It is not something that falls under sensitive events, tragedy, death, or anything like that. So please stop tagging our videos and demonetizing us. It is killing our channel. Thank you.
So he dropped me off at the new hotel they had built, the Villa Magna. My wife was there. When I walked in the room, my wife said, "What the f happened? What kind of tennis game did you play?" I mean, my hair was torn out. My t-shirt, everything was, I was totally up. And I said, no, just had a rough day. I'm gonna take a shower and I'm gonna take you to dinner. Sure enough, we went to dinner and suddenly 2 bottles of champagne, compliments of Metro.
Oh my God.
From then on, no problem. There was backlogs in Cancun. Sometimes there was 20,000 kilos backlogged waiting to get out of Cancun because there was so much coming from Colombia. When my got there, it got put in the front of the line. Sure enough, he'd always had his 50 kilos.
I'm sure he did. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.